Hi everyone, welcome to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead. And this week, no less, we have a John Denver special, which is going to be really exciting. So we've got three classic John Denver songs, plus we've got your People's Choice, which is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? A beautiful song from Carole King. So I'll go into all the details and how it all works and everything in a minute. We'll just say hi to a few people first. I've got loads to tell you about today as well, so I'll let you know what we've got going on. So hi Johnny. Oh great, I'll see you next week. I'm getting so excited about the retreat now, so I should be sending out all the worksheets tonight or tomorrow, Johnny, so keep an eye out for those. Really excited. It's quite nice because I get the sneak preview of what the teachers are teaching, and it all looks really cool for next week, so really exciting. Hi Joe, hi John, hope you're all doing well. So yeah, we're well into December now, so I've got my Christmas ukulele retreat next week. So we've got Will Grove White from the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain, Victoria Vox coming over all the way from America, which is going to be amazing, and then we've got a resident tutor, Sam Muir, as well, so it's really exciting. Normally about a week before the retreat I start getting really nervy because I've got so much to sort and plan, but I feel remarkably relaxed this year. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but perhaps we'll see. Oh, apparently the Facebook page is going to last week's live stream. Hopefully most people will find us, but I don't know how I'd manage that. But you guys all found me anyway, that's the important thing. So a few things going on this week. First of all, we've got a new Beatles on Uke lesson. So if anyone's doing the course, it's free to all gold members on my website, we're doing And I Love Her as a chord melody, a really quite intricate arrangement, which I was really quite proud of, that one. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it, a lovely chord melody version. You'll find that on the Beatles course on my website, Learn Ukulele with Matt, mattsteadukulele.com. So really excited about that. I'm also working on another new one. Hopefully it'll be up in the next 2 weeks. We're going to do Here, There and Everywhere, which is one of my most favourite songs of all time, not just to the Beatles, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. This Wednesday we've got my next live lesson, which I'm really excited about, and we're doing something different for this one. I'm going to talk shop, so I'm going to get my whole ukulele collection. Hopefully somehow I'll squeeze it into this little tiny space. This is what used to be my walk-in wardrobe, now it's my ukulele wardrobe, and I'm going to show you all of my collection, but it's going to be way more exciting than that. I'm going to talk about the different words, sizes, strings, my favourite brands and makers, all that good stuff. So it's going to be like a live Q&A. That's this Wednesday afternoon at 3:30. If you've got any questions you want to send me in advance, just ping them along to matt@theukeroom.com. I've had some brilliant ones already, so I'm really looking forward to discussing those. It's going to be loads and loads of fun. It's going to be a real special one, something a little bit different, which is going to be really nice. And then we're into our Christmas stuff. So as I'm away next week, there won't be a Kanikapila next Monday. Hi Rebecca, hi Diana, hi Johnny. There's not going to be a Kanikapila next week, but after that we've got 2 Christmas specials, and we've really gone to town. So we've got a whole bumper pack of sheets. We're going to go through loads of songs. We're going to do traditional carols, but loads of really cool festive pop songs as well. So I think you guys will really enjoy that. That's going to be on the 16th and the 23rd of December. We're going to have 2 Christmas specials. We're going to do one 2 days before Christmas. I've gone mad this year. So that's going to be loads of fun. So keep an eye out for those. And then the week before Christmas, we're going to have a Christmas live lesson. I know, it's just so much stuff. Where we're going to do a chord melody version of Away in a Manger. If you're new to chord melody or fingerstyle and you just want to dip your toe in, this is a perfect one because it's a nice, gentle, simple chord melody and it sounds gorgeous. So even if you've played a while, you'll really enjoy that, I think. There's also my Christmas ukulele challenge on the Facebook page, so check that out. And I'll try and remind you about some of this stuff at half time as well. Okay, so let's have a look at tonight's sheets. Do ask any questions as we go along. Say hello. I love seeing all your questions and comments coming up in the live chat. Just click live chat on YouTube and then you can join in all the community chat, which is loads of fun. So we're going to do. Let's have a look at our first piece for tonight, and I'll use this to explain how Kanikapila works. I know most of you already know, but just as a bit of a reminder, Rebecca kindly said on YouTube, I know it's Rebecca last week, that it's great to still go over these Roman numerals because kind of helps them all bed in, doesn't it? Which is really, really important in helping you remember. So that was really, really lovely to hear. So we're going to start with Country Roads. This one's in the key of G. And what we do is we name all of the chords. We give them numbers. So in the key of G, we've got 1 through to 7. G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F sharp diminished. Don't worry, we're not playing that one tonight. And then you go back to G. So G, A, B, C, D, E. And every key has a certain amount of sharps and flats. G has 1 sharp. It's an F sharp. That's all you've got to remember. And remember, each of those chords has a personality. So in the key of G, G is our home chord. Whenever we hit that, the piece of music feels resolved. So we quite often start a song on that because it sets us out on a journey, and we'll end a section on that because that's the chord that everything feels resolved to. Then we've got some other chords that have various personalities. In this one, you'll notice that the next chord that we get in the verse is an E minor, and that's a minor chord, but because it's very closely related to G major, in fact it's only 1 note difference. I often call it the pop-tastic minor chord. It's not as dark as some minor chords, so it's got a lightness to it. Creates a lovely movement to the 5 chord. So for this one, if I come in on close camera, we'll start with a G chord. Now each of these boxes is a measure or 4 beats. So that would just mean 4 beats of G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'd have 2 measures of E minor. Now remember, hi Steve, remember my trick. Rather than having to rearrange all of your fingers like this into an E minor shape, when you're changing from G to E minor, just try reaching up with that little finger like so onto the 4th fret of the C string. So G, and then we add that one. That gives us our E minor chord. All right. Touch of melancholy, but not too much. Then we get the tension of the 5 chord, in this case a D chord. See if you can squeeze 3 fingers in on that 2nd fret. If you struggle with that, you could bar the whole of the 2nd fret, little finger, on the 5th fret of the A string. That's another way of doing that. And that 5 chord in any key, that creates tension, and it makes you want to go back to the 1 chord. That's its function. And we do that, we go back to the 1 chord at the end of the verse, but first of all we go back via the 4 chord, which you'll remember, what's that? It's our change chord. It just creates a little change without too much drama. And then we go back to 1. So for instance, the verse, I'll go over the strum pattern in a minute, but we have 2 Gs, 2 E minors, 2 Ds, 1 C, and 1 G. Simple as that. Now, strum pattern that we're going to use tonight, and we're going to use this on most of the songs tonight because it's used on loads and loads of folk music. Just a simple calypso, down, down, up, down, up. Now, you guys know that I'm not massively into downs and ups. I think it makes people tense and it turns you into robots. So if you want to think about this phonetically, think of it as walk, running, and running. Walk, running, and running. Walk, running, and running. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, don't sweat it. If you kind of get your ups and downs mixed up, or if you're not in perfect timing, absolutely fine. If it's your first time and you find that difficult, just strum down on each measure, like so, and you could just count to 4. A really good way to practice your chord changes without the stress. Or you can just strum up and down as well. Be absolutely fine as well, as long as you're playing in time. So let's try a verse just to make sure that we all understand how that's going to work. So we'll start on this second line down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. And then we do that again. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. And then that takes us to the chorus, so nice and simple. This song, interestingly, I learnt something new about this when I was reading Karen's Fascinating Facts in the back this week. That this wasn't actually written by John Denver wholly. It was mostly written by two guys called Taffy and Bill Danoff, who are really big songwriters in the 70s. And they were originally thinking of giving this to another band, but they were in the studio with John Denver, and John Denver heard it and fell in love with it. Did a little bit of a reworking of the song and then released it as on his Poems, Prayers and Promises albums in 1971. So it's really interesting. I just always presumed it was a John Denver song, and I guess he made it his own anyway, right? Interestingly, neither the Danoffs or John Denver had ever been to the Blue Ridge Mountains or any of the places that they talk about when the song was written. But it's kind of, I guess it's that, it's that place Appalachian music came from, old time music and bluegrass and stuff. So he's kind of harnessing that homeliness and the traditions of that region, which I think is really lovely. So that's the verses. For the intro, we're going to just roll a G chord, and you'll notice, oh, thanks, Karen, you're a star. You're an absolute star. And a lot of the intros on John Denver stuff is just one chord rolled around for a few measures, and that's what we've got here. Sometimes that can get a bit boring, just playing the same chord for 4 measures. So try adding your little finger every now and then to the 3rd fret of the A string. That will turn a G chord into a G sus4, like this. And you can do it whenever you want. You could do a whole measure of G and add it. Or you could do it more often, whatever you want. And if you want, you can also lift off this 2nd finger off the A string, which turns the G chord into a G sus2. So it's a really nice way, just thickening up that intro if you want. Have a little experiment with that. Then we've got the verses we've just done. Now the choruses use very similar chords throughout. We've got this 1, 5, 6, 4, one of the most common chord combinations of all time. Basically the same as the verse at the start, with just 2 of the chords mixed around. So we have the homeliness, or setting out on the journey of the 1 chord. Oh, Shell, I'll pass that on to... Shell's been missing the dad jokes at the back. I'll pass that on to Esther. I'll get her doing some jokes again. No worries. So for the chorus, we've got our G. Country roads sets us off on a journey. Tension of 5. Take me home. Then the 6th chord, E minor. This time you are going to have to switch around to 3 fingers. To the place. 4 chord, I belong. Then we start the same again. West Virginia. Tension of 5. Mountain Mama. Change chord, country roads. Back to the resolution, resolves to 1. Take me home. Okay, now hopefully you'll notice that when you've been doing these Kanikapilas for a few times, you'll notice little tricks that songwriters use again and again. And one of my favourite ones is whenever we go to a bridge, a new section, it tends to use either the 4 chord, which would be a C in this case, or it will start with the 6th chord, which is the relative minor. Don't sweat the theory too much. Every major key has a relative minor, which has all the same chords, just in a different order. And that's what happens here. So the bridge, instead of starting with the 1 chord, starts with its relative minor, the E minor chord. And that just kind of ups the melancholy at this point, and it creates some more interest, which is really, really lovely. So we've got this E minor, the tension of the 5 chord, and then resolution to the 1 chord. Next line, C, G, then the tension of the 5 chord as a D gets even more tense by becoming a D7. You can either do a D7 like this, or just lift off that middle finger from your D, which is the easiest one to do from the D. Then the 3rd line, we've got E minor yet again. And then the 7th chord, which should be an F sharp diminished, being played as a normal F chord. This is using something called the Mixolydian mode. I'm not going to get into that because that's like a whole different lesson, too much detail. But often songwriters of rock and roll music, rock and indie music, will use this chord quite a lot. It almost gives a kind of a bit of a dark quality. So E minor, then that F, C chord, resolution to G, and then loads of tension from the D chord, and then getting even more tense with a D7. Let's try one of those bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear her voice in the morning air. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. I'm driving down the road. I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Really nice, right? Now that's basically it. The outro, we just do a D to a G twice. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. So in terms of the structure, we've got verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Easy peasy, right? Then the bridge, which is the bit that starts from E minor. Then here it's useful having both sheets up at the same time if you can. We've got chorus, then an instrumental verse, another chorus, and the outro. So verse, chorus, as you'd expect, bridge, and then chorus, instrumental, chorus, and the outro. Now that instrumental verse, you can either just strum along with me. I'm going to strum the chords to a verse, just these ones here. Or if you want, you can attempt a solo. And if you want to have a go at a solo, you're going to use your G major pentatonic or your E minor pentatonic. Or if you want to, you could even use a whole G major scale or a whole E minor scale. This is what they look like. It's this one here. If we want to go to the G major pentatonic in the easiest way, what we're going to do is we're going to come right up here to the 7th fret of your C string. Then we're going to play the 9th fret. Then the 7th fret again of the E string, up to the 10th fret, the 7th fret again of the A string, and up to the 10th fret. There we go. And Indrani, yeah, you're very much part of it. Don't you worry about that. You, Esther and Karen, couldn't do without you. And this is for you, Indrani. Your favourite riff. So that's your G major pentatonic. It's a G major scale with 2 of the notes that clash with some of the chords removed. So we've got G, A, and then we've got B, D, E, and G again. You can also combine that with the E minor pentatonic, which starts at the 4th fret of the C string, goes right up to the 7th, and then 5, 7, 5, 7. And if you put those together, you've got quite a lot of the fretboard covered. Another way of thinking about scales, which I've been thinking about telling you guys for a while, and because some of you have been doing Kanikapila for a while, it's nice to get into some other ways of playing it. If you wanted to do the whole G major scale, sometimes it's quite hard to think about a whole new scale, right? Thinking G major and it's like G, A, B, C, D, E and F sharp. But everyone knows the C major scale, right? That's the one you learn first. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If you don't, it's just C, D, E, F, G, A, B and C. Sometimes rather than learning a whole new scale, I just compare it back to the C major scale. And the G major scale has all the same notes, only the F is sharpened. Otherwise, every single note is the same as C major. So you can also muck about your C major scale down here, but just remember, rather than hitting this F, just hit the F sharp instead. It sounds weird if you start from C, because you're expecting the F of the F major, but look what happens if I start from G. It sounds right. So just a little something to experiment with. If you want to, try using that C major scale with the F sharp and that will work really well. Yeah, amazing, Joe. I love it. Fantastic. I'm still learning myself. I'm learning mandolin at the moment and I'm hoping to go to my first bluegrass jam in the next couple of months, and I'll be in your position. I'll be the scared one doing their solo for the first time, but it's really kind of rewarding, isn't it, and inspiring once you've done it. So brilliant, Joe. Fantastic. Okay, let's give it a try then. Let's try it from the top. I'll keep the chords on there and I'll do the singing. Join in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, G. Here we go. Verse. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like the breeze. Everyone, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. Let's try another verse. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Same again. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Chorus. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, country roads, take me home. Here's our bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get that feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday. Take a solo. First chords. Sorry, guys. Use that G major pentatonic or C major scale with F sharp. Have a little experiment. Get ready to come back in, and we're going to hit another chorus just here. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. take me home. Country roads, outro D. Take me home. Down country roads. One more time. Take me home. Down country roads. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that. Such a classic song, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Steve. I love this. I love this uke. This was made to me by Phil Davidson. That's what the P and the D on the headstock stand for. And his wife Fiona's a really clever artist with inlay and abalone. So if I hold that up, that's the trees to represent the Forest of Dean where I live. And then this is the bore, the wave that comes up the River Severn every now and then, where the tide resolves itself and it comes backwards, it reverses itself, and we get a wave coming up the river. So yeah, it's one of my favourite ukes, this. Woohoo! Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Karen was asking about some picking patterns. I'll try and show you that on a later song, but if you're interested, a few things you could do for this one. Yeah, that might be quite nice. So if you wanted to, you can do this in other songs as well, but just so I can show you, let me move this out of the way. A couple of picking patterns you could do. You could tap the G string with your thumb, and then I like to pinch the C string and the A string. It could be any fingers, you could use these two or these two. So you get this thumb pinch, and then if you do a roll, G, E, C, A. It's quite a Carter family way of picking. And you put that together, you get this. That's a really nice way of doing it. Notice that I'm using a little bit of swing there as well, so it's not... It's got a little swing. Country roads, take me home. I've forgotten the chords now because I haven't got them in front of me. Like that, and so on and so forth. So that's one thing you could do. You could do a little bit of claw hammer, push down on a string, and add a little brush. That would be really old time. If you want to do that, you come in towards the uke, hit a string, brush down with your index, and then just touch the G string with your thumb. It's quite hard to show that in a Kanikapila because it takes a lot of practice. But if you're interested, if you go on my website, mattsteadukulele.com, I think it's on both the intermediate course and definitely on the next steps. I've got some pieces that use that claw hammer pick, so you can learn how to do that. Things like I'll fly away and will the circle be unbroken. So have a look into that. It's really good fun. Let's have a slight change of tack now, because what we're going to do another John Denver song, but this one is a waltz, a very classic waltz. Annie's song, really, really beautiful song. And apparently, again, something new I learned, sorry, just doing a quick tune-up. John Denver wrote this in 10 minutes whilst he was going up a ski lift in Aspen, where he lived. He lived in Aspen for a while, I guess up in the mountains where they get the snow. And he was on his way up a ski lift and he was inspired to write this song. It's written about his first wife, Annie, who sadly divorced from, and he remarried since, but a really beautiful, quite touching song. This was, let me just check the year and everything. So this was 1974 on his album Back Home Again, if you're interested. Now, this one's a waltz, so we're in 3/4 timing. So every single one of these boxes, we need to count to 3. So for instance, if I was going to do that start of that verse A, I would have 3 C's, 1, 2, 3, 3 D's, 1, 2, 3, 3 E minors, and so on and so forth. So we're going to count in terms of 3. Classic waltz, really, really lovely. This one, the chords are relatively straightforward. You'll notice a lot of those 4 5s and 6 chords, just like we had in the last song. And that plays throughout loads of John Denver pieces. You'll see that happening again and again. We've got some other really interesting things happening here. Notice that on this third line, the chords are descending diatonically. That sounds really fancy pants, right? It just means the chords are getting lower in pitch. So we go from C, which is 4, to B minor 7, which is 3, A minor, which is 2, and then you'd imagine it'd go back to 1, but he hops up to 4 again. But we've got a lovely descending line there, which is really nice. There's also a couple of interesting things here. Oh, thanks, Indrani. Indrani's just mentioning she's done some beautiful photos for this week's sheets. You'll see them on the next page. And Indrani's just letting you know where they're taken from, which is really lovely. So we've got that descending pattern. The other thing that's interesting is the first verse ends on a D7. Remember that 5 chord is all about creating lots of tension. So it feels unresolved. It needs to go somewhere. Makes sense. It goes to another verse. Whereas the second verse, the B verse, it ends on a G. So it feels like it resolves itself, which is a classic thing to do. And it makes sense because that's like the end of a passage. And most of the song is based on doing this A verse, then B verse, A verse, then B verse, A verse, and B verse. In fact, I can confidently say, looking at it, that's exactly all it is. It goes A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. That's all it is to the song. Now, notice we also have something really fascinating here called line cliche. Now, I've talked about this in some of my lessons, and you might have heard of this before. It's basically where we have an underlying chord which remains pretty much unchanged. So we've got a type of G chord. And then the chord is altered so that we get this almost like a little mini melody running through it. So I'll show you what I mean. Notice the intro, we've got a G major. Then we go to a G major 7. It's only one note different. This note here, this G, is being turned into an F sharp. So we get a G major 7. The reason it's called a major 7 is F sharp is the 7th note in the key of G. So G, G major 7. Then the F sharp becomes an E by lifting off. So we get a G6 chord. But what's happening, if you listen really carefully, you'll hear almost like this little mini moving melody like this. See if you can hear that as I play the chords. It's just there, isn't it, buried away? If I really highlight it, really hear it. And it's a really clever little songwriting trick because it's a way of staying on one chord, but we get lots of movement. A really beautiful songwriting trick, and it's used loads of songs. One of the most famous is Something by George Harrison. Something in the way she moves that attracts me like no other lover, so on and so forth. Similar thing used in C chords. So a lovely bit of line cliche. So that first bit, by the way, strum pattern on this one, simplest thing in the world. We're going to go walk, running, walk, walk, running, walk. That's just down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Really is that simple. And that intro, we're going to play for those chords. G, flatten, 2 fingers, and flatten. Practice that with me. G, major 7, G6. Hi, Peter. G major 7. So on and so forth. Really beautiful, right? Peter's going to come and take lots of photos, hopefully, with us next week. Can't wait to see you, Peter. It's going to be a whole heap of fun. I've been doing lots of logistical stuff today and getting really excited about it, which is great. So, oh, nice. I didn't realise that, Shell. That's really cool. Jingle Bell Rock has the same thing. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Love it. Love it. Sheila, the triangle just means major. So because it's quite a lot of quite a lot to squish in MAJ. Sometimes it's written as G MAJ 7 or G major 7. Whenever you see the triangle, just think major. If it's not there and it just says G7, that's shorthand for dominant 7. So major 7 triangle. It comes from jazz. I don't know who started doing it, but a lot of jazz musicians did it. So that's your intro. Then we go to the verses. They start on the 4 chord, the change chord. Yay, me too. Peter, I've even got a Santa suit, so Father Christmas is going to appear, so that's very, very exciting, right? And he's bringing some presents too, so it's going to be great. Sorry, guys, back to the chord. So we get C chord to get us going. It's a bit of a change. Remember, we call that the change chord. No worries, Sheila. The tension of the 5 chord, D. Touch of melancholy from the E minor. Back to the 4 chord, and then we get this lovely line cliche again. Look, just exactly the same as the intro. Then we, in the 3rd line down, we do that lovely descending chords. See, B minor 7 sounds difficult, but just bar the whole of the 2nd fret. Get that finger right up against the metal fret. C, and then the tension of that D7. You can do a Hawaiian D7 or this one over and over. Okay, really beautiful, right? Let's give that a go. Interestingly, Indrani was saying for the G major 7, she finds it easier to do 3 fingers. Yeah, that's a good idea. So you could do, squeeze that one back, off. You could do that, yeah, absolutely, whichever works for you. Good idea, Indrani, I like that. So let's have a go at one of the verse. Now, the other thing you've got to remember is the singing starts on the intro. So come in on the word senses. You'll see what I mean. Let me just get my lyrics up. Here we go. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest. 2nd line with the line cliche. Like the mountains in springtime. Like a walk in the rain. Now the next verse is almost the same, starts the same way. Like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. Got that line cliche? Come fill up my senses. Now this is the only change, the last 2 chords. The D7 is pushed 1 measure earlier. Come fill me. Notice the tension that creates. Come fill me again, which is resolved by going to the G. And you can add some little sus notes if you like. That's it. Literally just the same thing over and over. A, B, A, B, A, B, all the way through the song. Now the instrumental is interesting when he does the instrumental after verse 2. He does the whole of the A section instrumentally, as you would imagine, and you can have a go at soloing. I'll give you some help with that in a minute. And then he does the B section, and about halfway through the B section, he kind of sings really quietly, let me give my life to you. Come, let me... It kind of comes in on that little bit at the end there on let me give my life to you. It's a bit of a tricky one to get in terms of coming in with the words. So what I would say is just solo over that bit, hum away if you like, and I'll take the lyrics on that bit because I've practiced where they come in. We'll have a little practice on that in just a second anyway. If you want to solo on this one over that instrumental, exactly the same scales as we used in the last song. Because we're in the key of G, you can use G major or E minor pentatonic. So that was way up. Remember, on the C string, we're going to go way up to 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. and the E minor pentatonic, which goes hand in hand, 4 7 5 7 5 7. Or you can do your G major scale, which is G A B C D E F sharp. That's the only one that's different to the C major. And you can even do it down here. Just have a little experiment. If that was all a lot to take in, just pick a little box. So say on the E minor pentatonic, just try 5 7 5 7. And maybe 7 10 7 10. And you'll be able to get a decent solo just using those. Let me see if I can get backing track going now. I'll show you. So where are we? Here we go. Something like this. I can. So don't feel like you've got to go kind of crazy. Just pick a few notes out that you feel comfortable with and see if you can have a little go at the solo. What we'll do just before we do the whole song, let's just practice that so you can have a little practice, and I'll do the bit so you can hear the words coming in as well. All right, so I'll keep this one up. So we're going to instrumental this one, and then about halfway through here I'll start singing and you can see how it works. Let's give it a go. Come in on a C chord after 3. 1 2 3. Oh, just before I do, you caught me just in time then, Steve. The strum pattern, just do a really simple down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. So that's down, down, up, down. Walk, running, walk, walk, running, walk, walk, running, walk. Or you could do a really nice pattern for 3/4 timing. Pick the C string of your thumb, and then pick up with 2 fingers on the E and A strings. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. You can even alternate with a G string like this. So with the words, that'd be something like this. You fill up my senses like the night in the forest. So on and so forth. So have a little experiment if you'd like, but keeping it simple. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So let's just try that instrumental. I come in on close camera for this bit so you can see the chords, and you can have a little go at noodling around with those scales. 1 2 3, C. So that gives us a bit of practice as well for getting used to the song. Should we give it a go? I'm just going to take a quick gulp of cold coffee. It's very cold. I think I need like a little plate heater. I mean, this room gets warm enough already, but... or one of those magic mugs that keeps things warm. You know, with the little contraption on the bottom. Ooh. There we go. Right, let's give it a try then from the top. Remember, we've got that introduction. I'll start singing halfway through that introduction. If you want to sing along, the easiest thing is to come in on the word senses when we hit that C chord. Let's give it a go. Have lots of fun. Pick it, strum it, however you want to. Have loads and loads of fun. Here we go. 1 2 3. Fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain. First beat, like the mountains in springtime, like the sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Go back to verse 8. Come let me love you, let me give my life to you, let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. First beat. Let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come let me love you, come love me again. Play a solo. If you're strumming, you just come into the end of verse A, D7. Here comes verse B. Keep that instrumental going. Da, 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 da. Let me give my life to you. Come, let me love you. Come love me again. Back in, get right back to the top. You fill up my senses, like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the deserts, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Yeah, well done everyone, fantastic. That's a really beautifully crafted song, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. I love that 3/4 time. I love that line cliche. As I say, a really beautiful way to create movement, even though technically you're kind of staying on the same chord, just different types of the same chord. So really, really beautiful things going on there. Absolutely gorgeous. If you like that, my next Beatles song that I'm going to be doing, as I say, I've done And I Love Her as a chord melody. But the next Beatles one I'm doing is Here, There and Everywhere. To lead a better life, I need my love to be here. It's such a beautiful song, and this one really made me think of it because it's got that super melodic thing going on. And I'm just going to do a really simple strummed version, which I'm going to teach to you. And I think it's really gorgeous. It's got some really interesting key changes as well. So if you enjoyed that, have a look at the Beatles course. I think you're going to love that one that's coming up next. Don't worry, I was wondering it's quite unforgiving, isn't it? So trouble is, if you get lost, it's hard to find your way back in, but you can always have another go at the playback. So remember, you can play this back as many times as you want. Thanks guys, that's good to know. Great to know. Thank you. So we're halfway. Let me just do another quick reminder of a couple of things we've got coming up. So if anyone's interested in learning about different types of ukes and strings and basically all the hardware, if you think about my teaching as the software, how to play it, on Wednesday I'm going to teach you about the actual hardware, and I'm going to show you my uke collection. I'm going to go through all my different ukuleles, and I'm going to answer your questions about different types of woods, different sizes of ukes, string tension, brands, all sorts of stuff. So if you've got a question for that, email me in advance at matt@theukeroom.com. But you can always ask questions on the day as well. And it's going to be a bit of a show and tell, so I'm really looking forward to that. A lovely relaxed session this Wednesday at 3:30. So come and join in if you can. Oh, I love it. Yeah, you live in just the right place for these, Rebecca. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. And after that, the week before Christmas, we've got a chord melody fingerstyle version of Away in a Manger. It's a beautiful song to turn into a chord melody. And it kind of reminds me of my youth. It reminds me of primary school and singing lovely kind of Christmas carols and stuff. So hopefully you'll really enjoy that, which would be fantastic. Another thing whilst I talk about Christmas, remember I'm away next week, because we've got our very exciting Christmas ukulele retreat next week. But after that, we've got 2 Christmas specials, Kanikapilas. And last year, what we did is I got some of you to send me videos of yourselves giving a Christmas message. Keep them short and sharp, because obviously if everyone does them, this could go on for hours and hours. So we're going to keep it to about 30 seconds. Just a little jingle, could be Merry Christmas to you, anything you want. A little jingle, you playing your ukulele. It could just be a recording of you saying Merry Christmas to everyone. If you're shy or you're not able to record a video, why not send me a picture of yourself in your Christmas jumper or one of your ukuleles with a bit of tinsel on and a Christmas message, and I'll put it up there as well. We did a beautiful video montage last Christmas. It was really lovely to see some of you and put some faces to the names, which is really lovely for everyone that does the community chat. So if you want to take part in that, send me your videos in the next couple of weeks if possible, so that I've got a bit of time to get it all together. And then in the last Christmas Kanikapila, we're going to do one on the 23rd of December, really going into the holiday season this time. I'll do the video montage. I'll also post it on the Facebook group and on YouTube as well, so everyone can see it. So do join in if you can. Send me your videos to matt@theukeroom.com. You can either send me the whole video or just a link somewhere, as long as I can download it. That's absolutely fine, which would be brilliant. Karen, you just reminded me of a brilliant, fascinating fact I was going to mention. I forgot to mention it, that John Denver's full name was John Deutschendorf. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, it's no wonder he chose Denver as his stage name. It's a bit easier to say as well, isn't it? So, oh wow, your housemate was a friend of his. That's amazing. He was an incredible songwriter, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant. And an airplane pilot as well, which makes sense with this next one. Do you know what? That's a perfect segue. I didn't do that on purpose, but we're going to have a look at Leaving on a Jetplane, which he wrote whilst he was on a layover in Washington, apparently. Really, really great song. Yeah, he was an airline pirate. Airline pirate? That would be interesting. An airline pilot. So yeah, fantastic. So this is very appropriate. German village. Oh, of course, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Oh, how cool. How cool. So let's have a look then. We're going to have a look at Leaving on a Jetplane next. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to send any tips to help out with the running costs, I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to those that do. It really, really helps me out. Always going to keep Kanikapila free, so you're not obliged. But if anyone wants to send me tips, just the PayPal link is in the description and in the comments. And if you could just click a like on the YouTube video itself, that really helps the YouTube algorithm. Or leave a comment. That's fantastic. And the other thing, which is the best thing in the world, is just word of mouth, and I know you guys do that all the time. I'm really appreciative. So if you know anyone wanting to learn ukulele, send them to mattsteadukulele.com and you'll be my friend forever. Well, you're my friend forever anyway, but yeah. Just going to tune up a sec 'cause it's got really warm in here, and ukes tend to go out of tune when they get hot or cold. A bit like people, I guess. Okay, let's have a look at Leaving on a Jet Plane now. Now, this one, if you've done Kanikapila for a while, or even if you haven't, this is one of those ones where when you see it written down, you realise how formulaic a song can be. And I want you to try the challenge of playing this one off by heart. All right, you can do it. You can do it, okay? So try not to follow the chords on screen for this one. See if you can do it off by heart, because it's one of the easy peasiest, lemoniest, squeeziest songs to do. It's the same few chords over and over. We're in the key of G yet again. Now this is interesting. The song starts on a D, so that's a real... Some people would fall into the pitfall of thinking this song's in the key of D because that's the first chord. But really, that long D, remember I told you that John Denver liked to just play the same chord over and over for his intro? Same thing here. That D is creating tension because it's not the one chord. It wants to resolve to the G, which is the first chord of the verse. So it's a way of creating tension. So we resolve as soon as we go to the first chord, which is actually a G chord. So we're in the key of G yet again. The final song's in the key of C tonight, but all of the others been in the key of G. And then basically, oh, thanks, Peter. You're very kind. Oh, I forgot to mention that. If anyone's feeling kind, would you think about voting for me in the Ukes? Every year, Anarchy and the Ukulele, they have an awards channel. They have an awards show, and it's happening on the 30th of December. And if you go on my Facebook page, there's a link there. You can vote for me. I think I've been nominated for Uke Personality of the Year, YouTube Channel of the Year, and Uke Festival with the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain. So if anyone wants to vote for me, I would be so appreciative. That would be really, really lovely. So thank you. It's the Ukes Awards, 30th of December, and all the other nominees are amazing as well. I promise I'm not just saying that. Some brilliant players and wonderful people on there, so it's all going to be really, it's going to be a cool event whether I win or not. So it's all cool. Thanks guys, thank you guys are amazing, thank you. So as I say, back to thanks Joe, thank you. I'll slip you the £5 later. So back to this song then. It just basically plays between the one chord, which is just a G major, just your bog standard G major, and the 4 chord, which remember just creates a sense of change without creating too much drama. Notice something I've done there as well. When I change from the G chord to the C chord, I actually leave my second finger down because it makes it a really simple change. Okay, and I can just pivot on it like so. Now we're back to 4/4 with this one, and we're going to do a really simple down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Walk, running, I'm running, walk, running, I'm running. It's often called the calypso strum because a calypso beat goes like this. Walk, running, I'm running, walk, running, I'm running. And of course it has been used in a lot of islands music and calypso music, but it's also used in a lot of folk music, just like this. If you find that difficult, you can just do an up and down strum, just stay in time with us, be absolutely fine, or just down strums will be absolutely fine as well. Talking of Hawaiian music, I forgot to mention, if you've never listened to it, have a listen to Brother Iz's version of Take Me Home Country Road. Brother Iz, he's the guy that sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the amazing Hawaiian ukulele player. Israel Kamakaviva Ole was his full name. And he does a great fun version of Take Me Home Country Roads on his album Facing Future. I meant to tell you about that and then I forgot, but yeah, have a listen. So back to this one, we literally just switch between G and C like this. G, C, G, C. And every single time we do that 3 times, and then we go to a D chord for tension at the end. Just G and C, that is the entire song. That's all it does the entire time. You've just got to remember that on the choruses, just stay on the D at the end. You'll kind of see me do it anyway. I hang on the D a little bit longer. When we do the final chorus, we're going to do these last two lines. We're going to repeat them a bit like we did on the last song. Simple as that. We're just going to repeat exactly the same thing. So basically just G, C, G, C, G, C, D all the way through and you'll be absolutely fine. That also means you can do exactly the same scales as we did earlier. I won't bore you with them all over again because you've seen them a few times now, but I just put them up on screen. So you could do a little kind of, just a kind of a cool little solo. Let's see if I can do a backing track. So have a little experiment playing through some of those notes from the scales. We're going to do that. Let me just check. I think it's after the second verse. Let me just go to the right page. There we go. So it's going to go verse, chorus, instrumental verse, and then verse, chorus. So really, really simple. But if in doubt, if you're not doing a solo, just strum G, C, G, C, G, C, D. That's it, all the way through, calypso strum. And I think we'll have loads of fun with this one. It should be nice and simple. This one, if you wanted to do a picking pattern, 4/4 time again. So I would maybe just do top to bottom. Like so. Or you could do inside, outside, C string, E string, G string, A string. So that would be, let me just get my words up, something like this. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye. Lovely inside, outside, or just strum. Bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm going to strum because I want something for all of you guys to lock in. But if you want a challenge, have a go at picking it. It'd be really nice. Right, let's give it a go. Really simple. We're going to do that intro, just 4 lots of D, and then we'll come in on the G chord. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, D. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. My bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye. But the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. Chorus. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Hang on that D. And we'll take another verse. Here we go. There's so many times I've let you down. So many times I've played around. I tell you now, well, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I think of you. Every song I sing, I'll sing for you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. Another chorus. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll Well done, everyone. Fantastic. What I love about that song is it just goes to prove that songs don't have to be complicated to be beautiful. It's literally the same 3 chords over and over. But it really works, doesn't it? It's really gorgeous. I love those that melancholic melody for the verses. Da 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 dee dee, ba da 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 da. It's got a real kind of melancholic tension to it, which is really beautiful. And then that melody just lifts a little bit, doesn't it? Da, da, where it goes, leaving on a jet plane. I think it's just beautiful and just the same 3 chords, but it works. Just great, just great. If I had my way, we'd do all the Kanikapila songs would be simple 3 chord songs. But the trouble is, and it's totally fair enough, people get bored of that, which is totally fine. But they're really nice to play along to, aren't they? Because you don't have to overthink them, which is fantastic. So, yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. That's really nice to hear, Karen. I'm a massive John Denver fan. Not as much as Karen. Karen knows so much about John Denver. I just know the classics, the best of, if you like. But I am a big fan of his songwriting. I think he was a great songwriter. Talking of great songwriters, one of my personal favourite songwriters of all time was Carole King. And every week on Kanikapila, on the Facebook group, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, do join. It's such a lovely place where we all post videos and we do challenges and we really encourage each other. So do join if you can. And every week Karen posts a poll where we decide what's going to be the people's choice, what we're going to do. We're going to suspend it just for the Christmas ones because we want Christmas Kanikapila to be all Christmassy, right? But after, in the new year, we'll get back to these polls and we'll have our people's choice. And every week you get to decide a song from the Kanikapila vaults. And the ones that we chose the one that you chose this time was Will You Love Me Tomorrow by Carole King. A beautiful, beautiful song. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic, Jenny. I love that. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it, about playing by ear? You can just really get into the music and enjoy it without having to kind of have that element of panic, which, yeah, it's really lovely. Now, Carole King was such a great songwriter because not only did she write her own songs, think of like Tapestry and Artists and all those great albums that she made in the 70s. Of course, before that, she was a songwriter with Jerry Goffin, famous Goffin and King partnership in the Brill Building. And they wrote some of the most amazing hits, things like Going Back, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow. This one was written for the Shirelles way back in 1960. So she's got those kind of 2 facets to her songwriting. This one, interestingly, a lot of people presume that Carole wrote the lyrics because they're from the perspective of a teenage girl, but actually her husband Jerry Goffin wrote this, and she said he did it in a really sensitive way, which is quite interesting. And then Carole King came up with the melody and the chords, which is really, really beautiful. This one we're in the key of C this time, so everything today has been in the key of G, but this one's in the key of C. The key of C is probably the most friendliest key. The reason so many people write in the key of C is it has no sharps and flats. So if you're reading sheet music, you don't have to worry about which notes are flat and which note is a sharp. Also, the chords that come up, particularly on the uke, are really easy to play. Things like C, F, G, A minor that everyone knows. So a really common key to put ukulele songs in, but also all sorts of pop songs. So we've got similar things, 7 chords, starting from C this time. C, D, E, F, G, A and B. And you might have noticed that within that, certain chords are major and certain chords are minor. In any key, the 2, the 3 and the 6 are your minor chords. The 1, the 4 and the 5 are your major chords, and then the 7th chord tends to be a diminished chord, but it rarely comes up. We're not playing with that one tonight. So with this one, we start with the 1 chord, just like we did in all the other songs, only instead of it being G, it's C. Makes sense, right? That's the 1 chord that sets us off on the journey, which is what we've got going on here. Just going to bring my lyrics up. Tonight you're mine. Then we go to the 4 chord. Remember, offers a little bit of change. Completely. And then the end of a line often finishes with the 5 chord because that creates tension that makes you want to go back to the 1 chord and do it again. That's exactly what we've got going on here. 4/4, so, and you can still do your calypso strum, just your down, down, up, up, down, up. Nice slow tempo this one as well, so really gentle. So we've got 2 C's, an F, and then a G. The next line basically does the same thing, only this time it misses out the 4 chords. So we've got 2 C's, then a G, then it flips to a G7. So you've got to reverse all of your fingers. So we're going to go from a normal G like this, and then reverse here. If you struggle with that, you could stay on G, but if you really want to have a go at it, just get that first finger in first, and that helps with almost any chords. You'll see the other fingers will kind of fall into place. So just get that one there, and you can change to a G7. Next up we have an E7, a really unusual one. This next bit's almost like going backwards around the circle of fifths. An E7. Now an E chord, if you think about it, is 5 above an A. Don't sweat the theory unless you're interested. A, B, C, D, E. So whenever we play an E7, it wants to resolve to an A, and that's why it works. Generally we'd have an E minor in this, in the key of C when we play the 3 chord, but this turn it into a dominant 7th makes it want to go to the A minor that follows, which is really beautiful. So that's E7 for 2 measures. A minor. Now this next bit is a little bit tricky. You can leave the G out if you struggle, but if you can, we do 3 more A minors, 1, 2, 3, and then we hit that G just for 1 beat at the end. Can you see those slash marks next to the chord? That just means you play it for 3 A minors, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your G. So as long as you're counting along, just play G on 4. And then we've got the 4 chord, 5 chord for tension, and resolution to the C chord. And most of the verses, they just finish on that C chord. The first verse, we put another cheeky G in because that makes us want to go back to the start. What I'll do one of those verses on close camera so you can see my fingers for the chords and get the timing. Let's have a go, and then I'll show you the bridge. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight you're mine completely. Second line, to give your love so sweetly. Third line, tonight the light of love is in your eyes. 1, 2, 3, G. Will you still love me tomorrow? Hit that G, go back to the start, and we do it all over again. All right, so not too bad. That G does catch a lot of people out, that little sneaky G there, but if you miss it, it doesn't really matter. Just give it your best. Then we go to the bridge. Quite often when we get a new section, as I mentioned earlier, we start it with either the relative minor or the 4 chord, because that 4 chord suggests change. What have we got here? The 4 chord. So we go to an F chord at the start of this next section. Just bog standard F chord. Then it goes to the E minor. Now this E minor is fulfilling a different function than it filled when we played it in the key of G, because the E minor in the key of G was the 6th chord, wasn't it? G, A, B, C, D, E. In the key of C, it's the 3 chord, C, D, E. Now that 3 chord, no matter what key you're in, is often referred to as the heartbreak chord. It's a very sad chord and it pulls at your heartstrings. And you should feel that here when I go to the E minor. Have a listen. Tonight with words unspoken. It has a sadness about it. Then we go to 4, 5, 1. say that I'm the only one. Then we do it again. But will my heart be broken? Now this illustrates something that I really, really love. When lyrics reflect the chords, I always refer to this 3 chord as the heartbreak chord. And often at that point in the lyrics, something sad's happening. Well, here it's almost literal, right? He's literally, Jerry Goffin has written, will my heart be broken? So the heartbreak chord is being played over the words heartbroken, which I think is just magnificent. So that's why it sounds really sad. I get way overexcited about these things. Sorry, totally nerding out. Then the final chord illustrates Carole King's brilliant kind of classical way of putting chords together. Now this one, A minor, D, G, because we're in the key of C, we call it the 6 and then the 2 and then the 5. But it creates a mini 2-5-1 in the key of G. If it was in the key of G, A minor would be 2, D would be 5 and G would be 1. And that's a classic thing to do. Jazz music is all built of these little 2-5-1 building blocks. And Carole King was a really brilliant jazz player and writer as well as pop songs. So this is like a mini 2-5-1. If you don't know what that means, don't sweat it too much. Just get used to playing it, which is really easy peasy. A minor, 1 finger. I like to use my first finger because then I can drop these 2 down for the D. G to finish. Notice that creates some tension, that G, which makes you want to go back to 1. Let's play a bridge so you can hear the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight with words unspoken, you say that I'm the only one. Do it again. But will my heart be broken? Heartbreak chord, then 2-5-1. When the night meets the morning sun. Then we go back to the start. Okay, that's it. We've got those 2 sections. Now, if you want to, you can have a little go at soloing on this one. This one, we're going to do a solo after the bridge. We're just going to do basically a verse instrumental. So you can just strum a verse if you're not sure. I think we might do a verse and a bridge. Yeah, let's do a verse and a bridge. Make it a little bit longer and more interesting. Now, this one's in the key of C. So this one we can do A minor pentatonic or C major pentatonic. They're the 2 scales. Now, regular Kanikapilers will know that the A minor pentatonic or C major, they're both the same notes in a different order. You can play your open A string and then all of the dots on your A string. It's really cool. You can literally hit any of the notes which has a dot on it. Way up here, even up here to the 15th fret up here. And you can create amazing solos just using that 1 string. You can also use the dots on the E string and the open E. Just make sure not to hit the 7th. We have to go up to the 8th for this C note here. Otherwise, you can play any dot that's on the E string as well, which is really cool. And then we can also think of it down here as off 2, C, D, off 3, E, G, off 3, A, C. So even just using those dots down here, you can do something really, really, really beautiful. This is just my dots. Now I might use some E string. So have a little play around and see if you can do a little solo on this one. A really lovely one to solo to. I love songs in the key of C. I think I'm going to do some soloing with Will when he joins me at the ukulele retreat next week. Will Grove White. He has to file solo on some songs, and I'm really hoping most of them are in the key of C. because it's the easiest key to solo in, because you can play with your dots, and everyone's done that for years and years and years. If you've ever wondered why there's dots in that way, it is partly because of the pentatonic, but also just because of notes. So on any string on a ukulele, basically, going from the open A to the to the third fret is a third, and then a fifth. So they're kind of based on thirds and fifths, and then sevenths as you go up. I'll do a lesson on that sometime, but really cool for soloing with, right? Okay, right. Let's have a go then. Let's do this very last one. You could pick this one. Maybe do that. That would be twice per measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Tonight you're mine. Oh, I need to sing it like completely. To give your love so sweetly. That'd be really nice. So maybe have a little go at that. I'm going to strum just to keep everyone locked in and going. Have a little experiment. And remember, we're going to go verse, verse, bridge, verse, instrumental, and then another verse to finish off with. I think we'll put a bridge in the instrumental as well. Let's go verse, bridge on the instrumental. Okay, let's give it a go then, guys. One last song. I'll stick around at the end to see if there's any questions or anything. But thank you to everyone that's attended tonight, and thanks. It's been really nice. Some lovely comments tonight. Really nice community chat. So thanks, guys. And remember, you can watch these back anytime. They're all archived on my website, mattsteadukulele.com. There's literally hundreds of songs on there in the archived Kanikapila. All right, let's give it a go then. So we go 1, 2. Oh, well, actually, it's just roll a C. Sorry. Then I can get ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight you're mine completely. To give your love so sweetly. Tonight the light of love is in your eyes. But will you love me tomorrow? Back to the top. Is this a lasting treasure, or just a moment's pleasure? Can I believe the magic of your sighs? Will you still love me tomorrow? Here's the bridge. Tonight with words unspoken, you say that I'm the only one. But will my heart be broken when the night meets the morning sun? Try an instrumental. Have a go at a solo. Otherwise, just strum a verse with me. Keep those solos going. Try soloing over a bridge now. Keep it going. Just hit those dots on your A string. Keep it going, nearly there. Get ready to end that solo. Come in for your final verse just here. darn everyone. I hope my uke wasn't too off-putting there. I noticed it was going slightly out of tune at the end there. When it gets hot, the wood expands and the strings get tighter. I could hear it getting that little bit sharp. So sorry if it wasn't quite in tune. I did do a naughty thing as well, because I want to show this one in my show and tell. And this is kind of like, it's one of my most precious ukes. It's one that I will never let go. Made for me by Phil. It's even got my name in the sound hole. But I play the heck out of it. So it's got dings and scratches all over it. You know, I really play it, keep it out on my wall all the time. But the strings were so old, they got divots in them. They were really old. So I restrung it at the weekend. But the trouble is, it always takes strings a while to settle in. So it might have gone a little bit out of tune there. And that's my excuse anyway. And I'm sticking to it. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. Remember, I'll stick around for any questions, any ukulele stuff you need help with. Give us a shout. I'm always here after Kanikapila. Whilst I'm waiting just to see if there's any questions or comments coming in, don't forget, if you're not already a member, if you want to support me, if you go to mattsteadukulele.com, it's £10 a month for gold membership, and you get 10 ukulele courses, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of learning, 30-part courses. Many of the courses, the lessons are 45 minutes or longer, so a lot on there. New Beatles course has started as well. Last one is a lovely chord melody version of And I Love Her. And then next week, hopefully either this week or next week, we'll have Here, There and Everywhere, which is really beautiful. I've done the sheets and the arrangement. I just need to record the video for that one. In fact, I can give you a little preview because I just realised it's on my computer. So there's some really interesting stuff. We're going to talk about the difference between relative minor and parallel minors. And we're also going to take some chords up the fretboard for that one. So I think you're going to really enjoy that one. And then don't forget, this Wednesday we've got my show and tell, where I'm going to show you my whole uke collection. I'm going to go through all my ukuleles, tell you a little bit of a story behind them, explain about my UAS, so ukulele acquisition syndrome. I've been doing this for 25 years and I've got some lovely ukes, and you'd think that I would stop buying ukuleles, but it never ends. I'm still buying new ukes all the time. It's absolutely mad. Thankfully, I've got a very supportive and forgiving wife. But yeah, see you at the retreat. Yay, thank you. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Really looking forward to it, guys. I'll take lots of photos, and well, Peter will be taking lots of photos as well, so we'll get those on the website so everyone can see what's happening at the retreat. It's going to be lovely. If you missed out, if you're in England and you still want to come along, we have got some last minute tickets for the retreat, so we have got some spaces available. If you just type in Ukulele Festival of Great Britain, they're on that website. And you can still come and take part. It's going to be starting next Monday. If you missed out and you really like the idea of a Christmas retreat, next week I'm going to put the tickets on sale for the year after, hopefully. So keep an eye on the website and I'll update that soon. And of course, we've got our summer retreat in the summer as well, which is going to be really exciting. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, I've got UAS bad. I've even got MAS now. I've got mandolin acquisition syndrome, which is bad. I've been through guitar acquisition syndrome and ukulele acquisition syndrome, and now I'm going through mandolin acquisition syndrome because I'm learning mandolin. Honestly, I'm absolutely nuts. So that's this Wednesday. If you could join me, 3:30. You can always watch it back if you can't make it then. And then 2 weeks' time, the week before Christmas, we're going to do Away in a Manger, a beautiful chord melody arrangement. So come and join me for that as well. It's going to be loads of fun. So one last reminder, I'm away next week, so no Kanikapila on the next Monday, but I am back on the just checking the date, 16th. We're back on the 16th with a special Christmas special. And then we're going to be back on the 23rd as well. So 2 days before Christmas. It might just be me and 2 people in a turkey. Who knows? But hopefully some of you will join me for that. It's always a really special one just before Christmas. And I just love getting together with you guys. So come and join in if you can. You can always watch it back if you're at a Christmas party or with your family or whatever. But join me if you can. It's going to be loads of fun. And don't forget, if you can, try and get your videos. Yeah, I completely agree, Karen. Exactly. My vice is instruments. It could be much worse. Yeah, they're tax deductible for me as well, so that always helps. Tools of the trade, so that always helps. Yeah, if you can get some Christmas videos for me as well, would be absolutely amazing. If you can get them to me in the next couple of weeks, that would be really good, because it does take a bit of work stitching them all together, putting the music over the top and everything. So it would be lovely. Do send me your videos in. I loved them last year and I want to create a lovely montage. We'll play the montage on the last Kanikapila before Christmas, on the 23rd, but I'll make it available on Facebook and YouTube so you can show your family and friends, or not if you don't want to. Have loads of fun with that. Well, take care, everyone. I'll miss you all for 2 weeks, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for 2 Christmas specials, one after the other. Much love, take care, and you con. Bye, everyone.